say, if they're putting tanks up, then might as well get the show rolling. One thing always with Siegfried Line is no matter what, you have to be competent fighting in in a city environment. Even though most of this map is an open field, um, because of where the cap is, um, you have to be able to get into the city and win city fights. So, yeah, control can be important. Movement and vision is important. But more important than anything is winning those battles on the 6, 7, 8 line normally determine this game. White Wolves is 6 tanks up. The Expendables have all of their tanks up. Well, about 60 seconds left. I'll go to I guess, the expendable side since they're already readied up. We have there at the top in the E4, Matt, bringing out the Badger, Gruff. We have a 430U with Logical Silver, 260 by Slayer Von Death, a T57 by Fitted V, Panzer 7 by Navy, and a Super Conqueror being rocked by Ninja Pro, and then finally a 113 with Metros.
It looks like White Wolf's going to have to change out one of their E4s, a different tank destroyer. While we wait on that change, so we've got Already Made Me Do It coming in with a Z5A Legends in a Chieftain Deadman, and Cloth coming in with Super Conquerors, out of Thunder and a Mouse, Straw Hat in a 57 Heavy, Stone Killer bringing out that 430U, and Atomic Drum in the E4.
Ooh, we're ready to go to battle. It always seems like on the south side, you get those tanks that spawn way down there on that 2 line, like H2. That's always very dangerous for a slow tank because on that northern side, if they want, and they can get vision, I've seen tanks like E4s and Super Conquerors just get farmed out. It doesn't look like White Wolves is interested in making a play like that, and they're going to allow the Expendables just to move across the field. I mean, as far up as the G line. Looks like White Wolves just want to get in that city and brawl. means that the Expendables, Logical Silver in the 430U is going to have field control and vision. Early action all the way up at the cap, right to start the match. Like Fitted in the 57 took a few early shots, and he doesn't want anything more to do with that, and he's kind of backing out of that position. Comes Navy Warships up in the Panzer 7. That is going to be a better suited tank for that edge there. And we already have cap pressure by White Wolves. Already made me do it in the 5A is already in that position behind that building, and that's a hard position to dig out unless you get a tank on that 0 line. You need to get a tank over to F0 in order to get shots on that 5A.
Cloth taking a very risky cross.
Oof. He should have taken a lot more damage than that, but here now, 2 tanks on cap, and notice how he's covering up Artie Made Me Do It, who's holding the majority of the cap points. They're trying to get this Badger around by the Expendables, but that Badger's just not a quick tank. They'll get there in a minute, and the DPN then will tear those 2 tanks up, or it should tear those 2 tanks up once it gets in position. Now there is just a huge battle going on here in the city. The Expendables have pushed in all around. We just have a melee going on here. Here comes the Badger. The Badger is getting in position to reset on the cap. Sure enough, Gruff gets those resets. Artie Made Me Do It is abandoning his position and is going to go get into battle here. Takes a huge shot, bringing his A5 down to half health. Very even on damage at this point. Fitted in the T-57 is down to a 1 shot, but the rest of the Expendables have pushed in. This really comes down to focus fire right now. We've got a lot of shots being flung everywhere. It's who can take tanks off the map. Oh no, why Navy warships went in so deep with the Panzer 7. He's now a 1 shot. He should go down, and he does. That's great focus fire there by the White Wolves. White Wolves also have Ninja Pro down to a 2 shot. That would be my next target. Or taking out that 57 with Fitted is also a 1 shot. And down goes Fitted. Very close game though right now. 2% separate these teams. Pot of Thunder down to a 1 shot in the mouse. Takes it. What a clutch shot, taking down the E4. Auto Thunder.
He's using that pillar to hide his front plate
Yeah,
perfectly, except there was the concrete
right
behind.
There. Yeah, the E4.
This is so close.
So close. Here's the thing. Do not fight a Badger head on. You're doing the right thing here. Straw Hat is making a flank. But you gotta make the flank at the same time as the E4. The E4 still have shots. Nice. Burned his repair kit. Perfect. Really nice cleanup there by Straw Hat. Good win by White Wolves coming out of the gate. That was a great battle. Super fun to watch. Over on the expendable side, up there at the top, Metro's in the 113, doing over 2K damage. Pretty nice game there. Ninja Pro in the Super Conqueror, doing over 3K, picking up 2 kills. Really nice game there. That Badger, only able to put in 1,500, but important for getting those early resets, was Gruff there. So good game there. Panzer 7 by Warships, putting in over 2K. Pretty good game. Matt in the E4. Wow, what a fantastic game. 2 kills, putting in over 4K damage. That's a great game. And then fitted there at the end in the T57, putting in almost 2K, picking up that kill to seal the deal. Or not to seal the deal, but to that was on the White Wolf side on the T57. Excuse me, I gave wrong credit to the wrong person. That was Straw Hat there at the bottom with 3 kills to finish off the Badger, putting in 2,200 in damage. Both good work making the flank on the Badger and keeping that auto loader alive at the end. So dangerous to have an auto loader at the end of the game. But the big damage dealer on the White Wolf side was Atomic Drum in the E4, 2 kills, putting up almost 7K in damage. That is a monster game in an E4 in comp. There's only so many hit points on the table, and to get almost 7K, that is enormous. What a game there. God of Thunder in the mouse, doing some good work there, 1,800 in damage, blocking 1,500. Super Conquerors both doing good work. Cloth putting up over 2K, blocking 2,500. Really nice game. In the Chieftain, Hughes putting up over 2K. So White Wolves, good strategy, but a great battle on both sides. Could have gone either way. I do like the White Wolves' approach to applying early cap pressure and drawing their opponent in. And then it just came down to focus fire. And White Wolves got the better end of it. Looks like we got the timer rolling again. We're at 120 seconds left. So teams are selecting tanks. It looks like the White Wolves' approach was to forget about the field, heavy up, get in the city, and brawl it out. And they looked like they felt comfortable making that fight. We have about 90 seconds left. White Wolves has more than half of their tanks up. Looks like the Expendables also have about half their tanks up. Interesting bringing those machines. Tanks can be dangerous with their clips, but a little soft if they're not on a ridge line or are mobile. We'll see how those fare once they get into the city. Looks like all of White Wolves' tanks are up. I'll run through the White Wolves' tanks. In the E4, we have Atomic Drum bringing out the Death Star. Straw Hat, the patent being rocked by Artie Maybe Do It. 2IS-7's Lone Killer and Charged Tech Mouse, God O' Thunder, and then double Super Conquerors in Cloth and SW.
Over on the Expendables side, we have Matt in an E4, Gruff in a Batchat, Navy in a 705A, 2 Machines by Logical and Vegas, 2 Super Conks by Ninja and Fitted, and a 113 by Metros.
Good. They are set up with the machines in that Batchat to make a nice field push. They definitely have the speed, and based on what White Wolves put up, I don't see, they're not going to go to the field, clearly, with that lineup. They want to get into the city, and it looks like brawl it out again. So you could get a nice rear flank and use those ridge lines with those machines to do some farming. Let's see if that is the plan. Oh, look at that horrible spawn that Straw Hat got. He is out almost in G1 with the Death Star. Oh, boy. And the mouse is almost worse. It's behind the tank trap. That's a long field. Let's see if
And the
Expendables
machine and
takes
Bat
advantage of
Chat
it.
are going to.
Yeah. You get to that E-line ridge and you can farm all day long with those clips. This could be devastating. And they're even moving the E4 into a position where that E4, it could land. Oh, look, they're spotted up. Dots going into the Death Star. That Death Star is going down. That Death Star's at 61 hit points. Boom! What focus fire by the Expendables. That was impressive. One of those machines got taken down to a one-shot, but you took out a huge alpha gun there. That's good stuff. And they put any damage into God of Thunder. I mean, he is basically giving them his butt right now as he's trying to get across that field. Logical needs to be very careful. He is spotted right now, and he's a one-shot, so he needs to tuck back and let his buddy, let the Bat Chat do some work here. Looks like Vegas is rotating out. He gets tracked because he's spotted. Takes a shot for that. Now on the other side, Expendables now has kind of taken advantage of catching them out early and has pushed deep into the city. So they really have mid-city control. Where the 705A is, Super Conqueror are, 113. I think that's what White Wolves needs to do. White Wolves needs to get in there where they're comfortable and fight this in the city and not try to trade. You know you have two tanks that are out in the field. You could leave the Patton, hold those two tanks out there in the field. Knowing that also one of them's a one-shot and one's a Bat Chat from distance. Looks like they're kind of running an interesting strat here with Expendables. They have this kind of little pocket here next to the main courtyard where they have three tanks, and then they have some tanks back here on the ridge, back where Ninja Pro is and Matt. They're kind of using the machine along the ridge line to kind of do some farming, but White Wolves is doing exactly what they need to do. They're pushing in on the overmatch. They realize those three tanks were in there by themselves. No support except for the ridge. If they get in there and make short work of it, those other tanks cannot help. Tanks in the field cannot help. Warship should go down. Yeah, it goes down. He's a one-shot. Metro should go down. Excellent focus fire, and now the Conqueror needs to go down. Conqueror's a one. There they go. Good cleanup work. It did cost them some tanks. Lone Killer did go down in that. They need to kind of regroup, and the push, yeah, would be over here on the Bat Chat end machines. Those are the squishier tanks. Yes, they have EDM, or at least the clip, but they're not strong tanks in this format, especially with Logical Silver being one shot. That Bat Chat going to get out for free? That's kind of dangerous. Down goes the other machine by Logical Silver. It almost seems like White Wolves should just stay together in a pack and just bully the Expendables at this point. Oh, unheard cloth taken down to a one-shot. You got to keep that gun in the game. E4 is now a one-shot. I don't think side scraping against an E4 is going to make a lot of sense here, but prove me wrong. Oh, Atomic Drum goes down, and this is getting really interesting all of a sudden. Batchat has a full clip. Batchat's racing around. Here comes Gruff. Oh, that other tank needed to hang on a little bit longer. You can still take out two tanks. You can take out Cloth and SW, and that would really make this interesting. Oh, you got to land those shots, buddy.
Saved by a fence post.
Ugh. And another good battle right down to the end. And another W for White Wolves. Expendables, though, really, I thought Expendables had it there for a minute. They had that initial push at the beginning out in the field, taking out the Death Star. Death Star never even got on the board. That was great stuff. They just couldn't clean it up at the end. So looking at the Expendable side, notables on their side, Gruff right there in the bad chat that you saw fighting there to the end, putting up 1,500 in damage. Fitted in the Super Conqueror with a kill, 2,300 in damage, blocking just over a K. Ninja Pro in the Super Conqueror, big game there, 3,500 in damage, blocking 2K. That's a great game out of Ninja Pro. Spectacular stuff in the Super Conqueror. Logical Silver in the machine with that great clip to start the game. Almost 2,400 in damage. Pretty solid game out of there in the machine. And then looking down at Matt in the E4, putting up 2,500 in damage. That wasn't enough. White Wolf side, looking over there, unfortunately, we saw that Death Star was not able to get anything done, but sure enough, Artie made me do it in the Patton, putting up almost 2,500. Really nice game in the Patton. The Atomic Drum, E4, once again, rocking there. 4,700 in damage and a kill, blocking 1,850. Big games by Atomic Drum in that E4. Sign that guy up. IS-7 working, Charge Tech, 2,300 in damage. Unheard Cloth, 5 kills for his winning side in the Super Conqueror with 3,000 in damage. SW in the Super Conqueror also putting up almost 2,300 in damage, blocking 1,800. So really nice game there. Right down to the wire, right down to the end there. Love it. What map are we heading to next?
Sand River.
Ah. Sand River, another encounter favorite. Yeah, what I like best about that last match is that White Wolves, even though they took that early damage in the field, recognizing their strong suit and what their strat was to get in the city and fight. That's exactly what they did. They got in the city and they really took it to them, and that ended up being the difference. It's like we're trying to figure out.
They put 2 tanks up and then say 1 sec. I don't.
Yeah,
I
are they
don't
happy
understand.
with their spawns?
Yes, they're happy with their spawns now.
Okay. I don't know what they need a second for then. Looks like they're ready to go. Okay, they're ready to go. All right, we're at around 90 seconds left. Like tanks are going up. Remember on this one, it's always kind of weird. The team on the green side or on the left side spawns over on the east side of the map, and the team on the right side or the kind of red side will spawn kind of in the northwest side of the map, kind of opposite of what you might think. And the cap location is right above that ridge line at around, I guess that would be FG 56. They're on that ridge line. And this one tends to go, which way do you want to play this map? Do you want to play it from the north or do you want to play it from the south? And sometimes we end up with a ring around the rosies. Sometimes we end up with that classic battle where both sides pick the same side to attack, and there you go. We're down to 30 seconds on the clock. All of the White Wolves tanks are selected, waiting for
they're
the
bringing out some
expendables.
picks.
Mm-hmm.
The Death Star didn't work last match. Let's try the chip barn. I do like all the hull down tanks that the Expendables have picked. Those British tanks tend to work really well, the Super Conquerors, Chieftains, etc., in the dunes on the ridge lines that this map provides. All right. Looking at the expendable side, we have Vegas in the E4, Logical Silver in the light tank, Northern Guy in the Centurion Action X, Batchat being rocked by warships, Tom Hip Hop in the Super Conqueror, along with Metros in the Pro Ninja, or Ninja Pro, and finally Matt in the Chieftain.
And over on WW, we have the Atomic Drum in an E4. Already made me do it in that 4005. Straw Hat in 100 LT. Jorg in a Patton. A Deadman in the Super Conk. Unheard Cloth in a Chieftain along with Lone Killer. And Charge Tech in a Wiz 111.5A.
Yeah, and look at this. Great spotting work by Logical Silver, but White Wolves have basically pushed everything into the bowl. They have a few in the crease there on the 8 line, and they have just
Ouch!
Northern Guy in the Action X. Oof, oofa. He's a one-shot for some of the tanks out there right now. Great farming from White Wolves. This is a tough road to push up that B line by the Expendables. Bleeding a lot from those hull down tanks. Ninja Pro down to half health. Less than half health. Nice little rear side climb here on the 8 line. I like by SW and Atomic Drum. Metros is down to a one-shot. Wow. Light Tank is trying to sneak around the backside by Logical Silver, but he's going to get 40-05'd if he's not careful. Big hit point of damage for White Wolves at this point. Like Logical Silver has decided to make a little run in with the light tank. He took some damage for doing that. He is taking one gun out of the game, so I guess that is effective. But the Action X up here by Northern guy should go down. He is a one-shot now. He's putting up a fight to the end, but he does go down.
The 4005 low rolled on
Yeah.
the LT for 600.
Yeah. Ninja Pro is a one-shot. Ninja Pro needs to be careful there, poking that ridge. Now, White Wolves is kind of expanding the tanks all the way around. Light Tank still is down there on the JK line. He's kind of chilling, driving around.
He beat a Pat Shat by himself.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Oh, it looks like the 4005 is burning up. I don't know who let him on fire, but he is smoking, and he goes down. Interesting to push over the hill, and so does the Light Tank, so Logical Silver goes out. But here, White Wolves is feeling the push, and here it comes. They're going in on Tom Hip Hop. Got him down to 50 points. And he goes down, and now Vegas, all that's left. Wow, what a win by White Wolves. Whose map pick was Sand River?
That was White Wolves.
Wow. So they're up 2-1 right now? Correct?
3-0, I think,
3-0.
right?
Oh, is that 3-0?
Yes,
They won all
it
of
was
them.
3-0.
Oh, impressive. So GG's to White Wolves. What a showing tonight. Looking over there on the expendable side for damage. Just a few notables here. Tom Hip Hop in the Super Conqueror there, putting up 2,700, blocking almost 1,400. Pretty decent game there, and all the way down there at the bottom, Logical Silver we saw in the Light Tank, putting up 2,400 damage, but it just wasn't enough. They weren't able to get the damage out of the rest of those tanks. They kind of got stuck there on the B line, farmed out by White Wolves, taking it 3-0 up there at the top. Already maybe do it in the ship iron, doing up 2K damage before getting lit on fire. Unheard Cloth in the Chieftain, putting up 2,400 damage, blocking 1,900 damage. That's a nice game in the Chieftain, doing work on the ridgeline. Lone Killer and his Chieftain putting up 1,500 in damage. Deadman in the Super Conqueror, 1,300 in damage. The Patton SW, 3 kills, 2,800 in damage. Great game right there. Straw Hat in the LT, 2 kills, 1,900 in damage, and then the Atomic Drum we saw in all 3 games in that E4, just pounding out the damage and having an impact in the game with 3,900 in damage and a kill. So I'd give my MVP to Atomic Drum tonight in that E4, and GG's to White Wolves on some very convincing, but definitely think that these were pretty competitive games. The Expendables really put on some real close matches in Siegfried Line tonight. What are your thoughts there, Legit?
Yeah. WW came out guns blazing, and they knew what they wanted to do, and came out here and took it to the Expendables. But overall, it was great games tonight by all four teams that came out and played, and you know, can't wait for the next one.
What do we got coming up next, Beaver?
Next, I believe for next week, Hells is setting up the Battlegrounds.
Ooh,
Um, so should release. I think he has one scheduled already. I think he's looking for one more team, maybe. Not 100% sure. But he is working on the Battleground since we are not going to. Next week will be our last stream until after the first of the year. We
well,
will be on a
take a little
Christmas
break for
break.
the holidays. Yeah, yeah.
So
Cool.
yes, Battlegrounds hopefully coming next week. Um, I'm not 100% sure what Hells has up his sleeve. There has been a few tank lineups tossed up, so we shall see.
Cool, cool.
All right. Well, Dis, legit. You have anything you would like to say before we go ahead and head out for the night?
I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who came out and watched tonight, and thank you to the four teams that did battle. They put on some really good shows, and we just appreciate everybody who supports us here on Twitch and watches us on YouTube. So keep it coming.
What Dis said. Sorry
Yeah,
he
I was
didn't get
just
to
to
watch
say.
that one game.
I think I
I
think
got
this
sad
summed
for
it up
one game. It
perfectly.
happens sometimes, even when you're the caller.
That's what it
So we're
was. You
looking
don't
for
play me
payback now,
enough.
legit.
You get to sit.
Yeah, you might get to play next year.
That's right.
Oh well.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.